Hi everyone, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So today we are going to be doing something a little bit different to normal. So what I have here is I have a wooden ink board. So it's for use for like alcohol inks and other materials. So it's virtually a primed, smooth, non-porous board. And I have coated the sides in painter's tape. And what I have done on the top is I have put a pattern with what I've put in here. So it's like a masking fluid. But what I did is I found this at the paint shop, which is a masking paint. So it's what painters use to put on the windows so then they can spray paint and then peel it off. And I thought this should do a similar job to what actual masking fluid does. But for the amount that I get, it's a lot cheaper. So I get a whole litre in that. And what I've done is I have just put it in this bottle, which has like a needle dropper. And then I have just done a pattern. So it's been a while since I've done anything like this, so please bear with me. It's just a matter of making a pattern of whatever you like. So I haven't used this particular masking fluid before, so masking paint, to be quite honest. So this will be quite a new one, so I'm testing it out to see how it goes. So I did this earlier on today. It has dried and it seems like it is doing quite well. It does have a slight colour to it. So it's not completely white. So you can actually see this pattern. You should be able to see this pattern in the video of what I've actually got. Now, I have isopropyl alcohol, which this one here should be 100%. I've also put it in this little bottle, dropper, whatever you want to call it to make it easier. I have a paintbrush, I have a little mini blower, and I've got my alcohol inks. So, the colours. I'm going to do fiery colours, kind of the reds, oranges and yellows. So, I have Jacquard Pinata in chili pepper, Sunbright Yellow, and Tangerine. Tangerine comes in a big bottle and I just put it in this smaller bottle. Then I have Papermill. So this is an Australian brand. I have Papermill in Poppy, which is kind of a pinky red. Ruby, which is a very deep red. Mustard, which is kind of like an orangey yellow. And then Citrus, which is a more brighter yellow. So I don't know if I'll use all of them. I may just use a combination. So it's just a matter of having a bit of fun and seeing how it goes. So let's get on to it. So the main reason you use masking tape is so these areas won't get any colour to them. So anything that is got this masking fluid on top won't get colour. So you do your pattern, then you peel it off and you kind of get the negative space of the pattern. So let's jump to it. Let's do some so I'm probably going to go reds and yellows first and then add some oranges after. And do remember, this here will continue to change and evolve because it is alcohol inks. It's every time you add another color, it will reactivate what you've already done and kind of alter things a little bit. So keep that in mind. I might actually have to spray some on just to wet the canvas. Canvas, artboard, we know what I mean. So first of all, you just want to put some on. So we're going to go red. So I've been using these with my resin, and sometimes I'm a bit quick to put the caps back on and they're a little bit not as clean as I would like them to be. And I don't have, I better actually put gloves on. So you will get ink on your skin and it does not come off. And when I say does not come off, I don't mean that very lightly. I mean it doesn't come off. So as you can see, it's already creating a little bit of resistance. I don't think I've got enough colour. Let's add some tangerine. Well, so anything about using bottles that don't come with it, they can be a little bit do their own thing. These are quite bold. Thin them out a bit. So for the moment, I'm just trying to get a base to work with. So it's warm in my climate, so the alcohol inks do tend to try and dry quickly. So sometimes it's a race against the clock. So I'm using this little mini blower, which is okay. I actually want one of those alcoholic puffers, but I can't seem to get hold of one. Every time I see one on a website, by the time I go to order it, it says sold out, and I can't get hold of one. And it's one of those things I really, really need. I'd like it for quite a few of my different artworks that I do, but yeah, I just can't get hold of it. So hopefully sometime soon I will. Be a little bit less noisier than this thing. Nearly there. Yeah, it's definitely my warm. So it's actually even a really warm night here. Where I live, we've kind of had the tail end of a cyclone come through, but we didn't get any rain at all, but we got a lot of humid nights, which has been a little bit not as fantastic. I'm not used to humidity, I'm used to the dry climate. So I'm going to try and add some deeper colours. I need to dip this into the alcohol ink. So I just dipped my brush into the straight isopropyl alcohol. Just so I could smooth out this darker colour a bit more. I can feel everything drying on me so quickly. And just remember, this here is just like other fluid art. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Keep that in mind. It's all about having fun. Let's try some poppy. So this colour I'm gonna do a little bit of, but I'm gonna see how it works before I continue with it too much. And whatever colour they are wet, they are often different dry. Yeah, it's getting a more pinker tone now that it's drying. So now the board's actually becoming a little bit wet. It's kind of staying a little bit more easier, pliable. So you can wipe off your brush if you want when you go from one colour to the next. I actually don't mind a little bit of blending of colours. This one feels like it's a little bit grainy, this ruby. Like colours dried into it a little bit. So I'm going to just put the caps on, but loose. So they're not actually on, but they are on, if that makes sense. Added a fair bit of this one because it's a lighter colour, but it will blend through. And being an alcohol ink, just use some alcohol if you actually want to change anything a little bit. If you think that colour isn't what you had planned, add some alcohol, clear it out, try a different tone. And just remember, like some other artworks, it can look a little bit like a hot mess until you actually have finished. And if you were to use a heat gun or a blowtorch, it would dry a lot quicker as well. Gonna add a bit more alcohol. So I had to keep wiping the sweat off my face. Every time I turn my lights on to do my videos, it's a little bit warm. See how all that's just reactivated again? You can add different tones, different waves. If I was more careful, I could keep it within those lines, I don't mind if it jumps the lines a little bit. I'm actually going to alter a couple of little areas. This area along here. It looked cool, but I'm going to use my brush and blend them in a little bit more. Get rid of some of those harsher lines along that edge of, there we go. Maybe that harsher line there. So see how you just re-wet it? Move it along. Where else? This area down here. Like that on there. I actually want more of the brightest yellow. I think in this section here, try and maneuver that brighter yellow through this area. It's going to mix with these other colours. But it's my way of lightening up this patch. Get rid of that darker line there. Let that blend in a bit. And some spots, I feel like that's become a little bit too rigid, so I'm just going to drop some ink there and just let it do something. So I'm not really maneuvering any of the ink I've just put down. So when you put a drop down, as it dries, it's kind of reactivating it and then kind of create more of a different pattern again. Might blow some bits. So what I'm just trying to do now is dry the ink that's here. Because it's not porous, sometimes if the ink pools in one little spot, it will stay a little bit wet. when we want this to be completely dry. I hope I'm not putting my head in the way too much for you guys. So now, what I would like to do, I'm just going to give it a tiny little spritz from a distance. So I'm getting some little, like, circular. Oops, a lot fell right there. I'll leave that for a second. See how it's virtually, the spritz has landed, it's reactivated it, kind of made a little ring, and then it's going to dry again. I actually want a couple over here. So you can do this a couple of ways. Either just use your little spritzer and just try to gently, whoops, see how sometimes it doesn't come out as gentle as you prefer, but that's okay. Or you can put it on your paintbrush and kind of tap your brush, so then you get little spritz go on there that way. So I'm going to just, actually before I do that, I'm not in love with this corner. Oh, sugar. I just knocked over my bottle of alcohol. Hopefully it hasn't landed on anything too important. I'm just going to put a little bit of mustard in here. And give it a little bit of a blow. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, off camera, I'm going to blow this from a height with the blowtorch to dry it all, and I will come back. But I also have to double check that I haven't ruined anything with dropping my alcohol. So I'm going to pause it and I will be back very soon. Okay, we're back. So I've left it a little bit to dry. I would prefer to have left it longer, but I can't edit videos yet still, so I just have to put the camera on pause, and I don't know how long it will stay on pause for before the camera goes, oh no, you had it on pause too long, I'm resetting. So now it is virtually dry, so most of the ink is dry. The only thing I have noticed is, I wonder whether the stuff that I have used, the masking paint compared to a masking fluid, it does seem to have reacted a little bit with the masking paint and made it a little bit sticky. So that could be the difference between masking fluid and masking paint. So I would like to leave this overnight, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try and take off the masking fluid now, so you guys get to see what it actually looks like underneath. So all we got to do is just get a bit and try. Yeah, it is reacting. So this is the first time I've tried using masking tape, masking paint over masking fluid. And it looks like the alcohol has reacted in a chemical way. Oh, that's a shame. Because normally this should just peel up all as one. Can I remove a dot? No. No, I can't. So I'm going to try and leave this until the morning. Or I might come back in an hour or so and see if it has done something different. It's definitely reacting. So I'm going to leave it, see how it goes, and see if it re-hardens back up again. But it was a good test. It was something that I needed to do, because if this did work, then it would have saved me a lot of money on masking fluid, because this masking paint, I got a lot more out of my money. So I'm going to leave it, try it later on, and see if I can get it removed. Now, if I can, the thumbnail picture will be once I have removed the masking fluid. So if you see a picture where you've got all these white lines running through and white dots, that's because the masking fluid has come off. For the moment, I'm going to just leave it and see how I go. If it doesn't work, I probably won't put the video up. I'll probably wait until my masking fluid arrives, because I ordered it, but here in Australia, everything's over east, and they're having lots of floods and coronaviruses everywhere, so it's taking so long for parcels to arrive that I'm actually not getting them very quickly. So for now, we'll just leave this and see how it goes. But yeah, if you see the thumbnail and it's got all these cool white lines running through it, that's because it hardened and I was able to remove it I'd probably say hours later. So I'm just going to leave it, see how it goes. But if you do like the video and you like the picture, push like, give me a comment, share the video if you think it's pretty cool, and subscribe if you have not already. Just hit the bell and click all, and I will see you for another pour very soon. Alright, thanks everyone. Alright, have a good night. Bye.